Fantastic singing, boys and girls, and I know it's not hard, but you were so much better than I am at the actions. Well done, everyone. Now then, today, for our kids talk, I have got a piece of paper. Just plain white paper. Now, boys and girls, I wonder, is it possible, do you think, for me to somehow get through this paper? To get my whole body through the paper? You know, if I was maybe just to make a little bit of a rip in the paper, like this, but being very careful not to go all the way through and rip it in half completely, do you think, do you think I can get through that hole without ripping the paper completely? And maybe if I put my hand in first, do you think I'd manage? Or, well, I don't know if I would or not. What about if I put my head through? Do you think it's possible? Well, I actually think, it's impossible. It's not been possible for me to get through that bit of paper without completely ripping it. You know, we sang today a song about, my God is so big and so strong and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. That means that there's nothing impossible for God. So, I've got a brand new bit of paper. And I want to teach you today, boys and girls, that there is a way to get through this paper without ripping it apart completely. Now, if you've got paper and scissors handy right now, you can join in. If not, just listen to this, watch what I do, and you can try it later. The first thing we have to do to get through this paper, which looks like an impossible job, is fold it in half. So like that. There we go, lengthwise we fold it in half. Now let's keep the fold at the bottom. What else I've got now is a pair of scissors. And what I'm going to start to do is I'm going to start to cut little strips in the paper. Being careful not to go all the way to the top. Can you see that there? We're not going all the way to the top. And then I'm going to do that all the way along my piece of paper. Like I say, boys and girls, if you're copying right now, you're doing it at home, just take your time. Be careful that you don't split the paper or cut the paper all the way through. So this is what we do to start with. We keep cutting the bits, the strips in the paper until we're all the way along. And there we are. That's us all the way along. And I wonder now if we could imagine that these little strips that we've cut, let's just imagine that they are like some of the problems that we face that might seem impossible. Maybe this first strip here, maybe right now, boys and girls, you've got problems with your friends. And maybe they're falling out with you, or there's things going on and you just can't see a solution. Or maybe, let's look at the second one there, maybe you've got problems with worrying. Maybe there's things that are in your head and you're worried about them and you just can't stop thinking about them and you can't see a way to get through. Or another strip, maybe that problem that you're facing right now is homework. Oh, I know, sorry for mentioning homework at the weekend. We all hate homework, but maybe for you that is a problem right now and you're struggling with your homework. Or another strip there might be for you, maybe it's family. Maybe there's things going on in your family right now and you cannot see a way of fixing them. For some, this is a really, really difficult one that I struggled with when I was a child at school, bullying. And it's awful and it's horrible when people are bullying us, and it just feels like, how are we going to get out of this problem and this situation? Well, for me, my family, my mum and dad and me and us as a family, we prayed about it, and after a while, God sorted that problem out. Or, let's look at the last strip right now. Maybe the big problem right now, and it is a problem, and it's a problem all over the world, maybe the problem that you're finding hard is the whole thing of coronavirus. All the restrictions, all the things that's going on with it, and all the difficulties and all the changes, and we don't like it, do we? And all these things, if we're not careful, we might just have a life that looks like this. It's just full of problems. Right, turn the paper over now so the split's at the top. Here's what we're going to do next. Get our scissors again, we leave the first strip, but from the other side now, we cut up in between the strips. So So again, being very careful not to go all the way through, just like that. We cut our way up and we keep going very carefully. Don't go too quickly just in case you make a mistake, because now would be a bad time to make a mistake now that we're getting quite near to the end of how to solve this problem of getting through this bit of paper. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to leave the one on the other side. So here we are now. We've got a bit of paper that looks a little bit like this, and now we're almost there. We've almost got the solution to our problem. Last thing we need to do, take the scissors one more time. Where the fold is on the strips from the start, leaving the first one again, do not touch the first one, but starting on the second one, go to the fold and cut across it to separate the fold, okay? And we do that all the way along our piece of paper, apart from, of course, the first one and the last one. We do not want to do the first one, and I've still got a couple to go here. We don't want to do the first one, and we don't want to do the last one. Now here's my last cut. There we are. I'm just going to try and get these scissors that are stuck on my thumb, try and get them off. Be careful not to get your hands stuck in your scissors. There we are, mine's off now. There we go. So we've done that. We've cut all the bits that we need to cut. Now, remember, our song said nothing is impossible for God. There's nothing He cannot do. We've spoken about the different problems that we might face. The bit of paper at the start represented our problems. Look at my bit of paper now. It's turned more into a circle, and now I can get right through the bit of paper. See? There we go. I'm going to step out of it at the bottom, and I made it all the way through the bit of paper, and hopefully you guys at home can do that as well. Remember, boys and girls, we will have problems sometimes in life. Things that are difficult, that seem impossible. But nothing's impossible for God. Now that doesn't mean that when we pray about them, which we should do, that every time God's going to take the problem away like that. Sometimes He does, and He can do that. Sometimes He takes the problem away little by little by little, just like the cuts that we made in our paper, little by little by little. But God is bigger and stronger than any and every problem, worry, situation that we face. So let's remember that today. My God is so big, so strong, and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. Thanks for listening, guys. If you didn't do this already, give it a go later on or even during the preaching time. See how you get on with it. And if you manage them, send some photos to me and let me see, or even a video clip of you climbing through your bit of paper. God bless everyone. Thanks for listening.